Can you tell me what is strange about this chord progression? And also, how do you even write a melody to it? If your answer is that the E and the B major are the ones that don't belong, then that's definitely right. But they do sound nice, don't they? I will show you how I got to these chords and how you can maintain a sense of direction with them. And finally, I will also show you 2 approaches for writing melodies to these kind of chord progressions. The technique that I used is called harmonic planing, parallel harmony, or parallel voice leading. And it's definitely not a new technique. What it basically boils down to is that you hold one chord shape and that you move it all across the keyboard or a guitar neck, or actually any other instrument that's capable of playing chords. But you don't change the chord shape. So all the distances between the notes, they stay the same. The cool thing, as you could see from my first example, is that you can get really unexpected results and chord progressions that you might have otherwise not come up with. But it's also easy to get lost in a seemingly random and endless chain of chords that have the same quality. So how do you maintain a sense of order, direction, and hierarchy in your chord progression? To maintain my sense of orientation, I like to keep all the bass notes within the key or the mode that I'm writing music in. In this example, I'm using the C major scale. So I use these notes as my foundation, and I can slide my major chords to any of these root notes. I believe that it creates more unity for you and the listener when the root notes are always part of the key. And now comes the melodic part. Because how do you actually play or write a melody to a chord progression that potentially has many chords and notes outside of the key? There are 2 main ways to how you can approach this. And number 1 is that you only play notes that the chords have in common or that are part of the key. For example, between the C and E major, they both share the note E. By playing the E, you will create a smooth connection between these chords. And also between the E and the B major, you can play the B, because they both have the B in common. Approach number 2 is that with your melody you actually emphasize the notes in the chords that are outside of the key. In our example, that would be the G sharp, that belongs to the E major chord, and the F sharp and the D sharp that belong to the B major chord. Or you can combine both techniques, of course. And one last question. Can these parallel harmonies only be done with major chords? No, of course not. It can be with minor chords, diminished chords, you name it. So be sure to experiment with that, because it can be any chord quality that you like. When you share this tip with a musical friend, I guarantee you that they will be happy. Thank you so much for supporting the channel in all the ways that you do. Stay creative, and for now, see you next time.